The turning point wasn't the end. It was permission. Permission to stop reacting and to start choosing what this world becomes. Power finally stabilized, but that only bought us time. Because from here on out, the future of this world depends on making the right next step. And if this part is wrong, everything that comes after it will be too. So sit back, grab a drink. This is the Caldris. Before anything goes down properly, before shapes, machines, or numbers, I stop. And if you've watched my design school series, you'll know how important this step is. Because this is where the build is decided, long before anything is placed. This stretch of shoreline doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to dominate the skyline. It's calm, open, already a part of this world. So instead of forcing a design onto it, I let the land set the rule. Where the space opens up, build can breathe. Where it tightens, form responds. This isn't about finding the perfect spot. It's about understanding the one you're standing in. At this stage, I'm not placing machines, I'm placing ideas. Using a simple blueprint, something that will eventually hold 3 refineries. But right now, it isn't about fuel, it's just a stand-in. Something with weight and with height. Something that lets me judge the scale without committing. I drop a few of these in, step back, and just look. Does the shoreline still breathe? Does the space feel balanced? And will I be able to walk through this without it feeling tight? Believe it or not, most of the thinking actually happens here. I love to say this is all part of some master plan, but honestly, we're just trusting the process at this point. Once the shape starts to feel right, I can stop treating it like a sketch. I've built enough in this world now to recognise when something works, and I don't want to build things twice. So, instead of placeholders, I start placing the final refinery blueprint, exactly where it's going to live. But one thing I forgot to mention is confidence doesn't generate materials, so these blueprints will be going down slowly.
This is the worst!
From this point on, it's less about experimenting, more about committing. The structure is decided, now it just needs refining. This factory doesn't exist on its own. It's feeding something much, much bigger later on. So I start thinking about movement, where the fuel lines will go, how it passes through the factory, and where it can leave cleanly without crossing back on itself. Everything here needs to feel calm, predictable, easy to read. If you have to fight the layout now, it'll only get worse when the scale increases. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about clarity. Because when you can understand the factory just by looking at it, everything else becomes easier. Once the main volumes are locked in, this is where I start refining. Small shifts, pulling sections apart. Not decoration, just enough detail to make the structure readable. Catwalks that suggest movement, lighting that hints at scale, materials that soften the mass. This is where it starts to feel real, not finished, but believable. We've just crossed 6,000 of you lovely people, which is honestly mad to say out loud, so a huge thank you. From the early builds to this, planning things properly instead of patching them. Feels like we're growing along with the world. Fuel will sit here patiently, waiting. The power plant will come, and when it does, it won't be because we've panicked. It'll be because we've planned. That's the shift. We're not reacting anymore, we're choosing. So, if you want to see where this next chapter leads, make sure you're subscribed. Because from here on, we're not just building factories, we're shaping a world. What comes next will be bigger, more demanding, a little bit daunting if I'm honest. But for the first time, this world feels ready for it. So do I.